It's Wednesday. Shaggy's the first one in already. Look at that. Coming to the gate quickly. It is a heck of a day, I tell you. You do your normal work as you do, and that's great. That's always wonderful. And then something comes along where, I don't know, you see, let's say you see, for instance, where the NASCAR has decided to ban the flag. They're not the U.S. flag, mind you, but I've lost it now. Why am I saying this wrong? The Confederacy, the Confederate flag. Man, that is fun. That is a lot of fun to watch. I don't know if you have had a chance yet to go check out the NASCAR page on Facebook, but for a whole bunch of people who are really who have no idea when it comes to like discrimination, they sure are yelling it. There's a lot of triggered white people. It's pretty funny. I can't take my flag into my races anymore. There was one guy that said, you've taken away everything that I loved about this sport. And what about the cars? It's literally car racing. Are you kidding me? Oh, people. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with all these people. That's fantastic. So yeah. I don't know. Septic's back from the dead, everybody. As is Restream. Glad to see that we've been able to make it on to all of the different locations now. We're on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. While we let people filter in, don't forget, if you want to be the first one to get points like Shaggy was today, let's go get Shaggy his point for being first. You'll probably want to subscribe or follow this program. You'll just want to go to wherever it says follow or subscribe. Hit the button a bunch of times, preferably an odd number of times, right? Because if you do an even number of times, I think it would just turn it back off. And then next to it's usually a bell or something. You'll want to turn the bell on and it'll notify when we go live. And then you'll have a chance to get here way early and be a part of the show. So yeah, we're still waiting for people to filter in. It's weird though. I'm not seeing any people saying, it's not telling me that there's people over on Twitch. And I don't know why that is. Why is that taking longer than it should? That doesn't seem right. I see it up on Twitch. I see 4 people watching on Twitch. Has it clicked over yet? Is that the... there they are. Okay. Now it's in. All right. So that's one way to get points. Another way to get points, obviously, is to answer questions correctly. We'll give you 60 seconds on the clock. You'll answer a question correctly in the chat, and you will get 1 point. If you're the first person to get the correct answer, you will get 2 points. You can also throw what we call a Karen. That means that you believe no one else is going to get it correct. And if they don't, you get 1 point. But if somebody does get it correct, you lose a point, unfortunately. And then today's a little special because we're going to do a Wager Wednesday. And that means we have a special bonus 11th question. We're going to give you the category of that question. You get to gamble as many points as you've earned for the entire week. All right. And if you get it correct, you could double up your points. If you were to bet all of them, you don't have to bet all of them. But if you were to, you would double up your points. However, if you get it wrong, you would lose all your points. So it's a big gamble there, but could be a big difference maker in the week. And then finally, don't forget that you can also get a point if you share the show on Facebook. And by share the show on Facebook, we mean that has to be a unique share for each point. So you can get multiple points, but they have to be to different places. You can't just do it to your same profile over and over again or something like that. And then you can't do it privately. It does have to be a public share because we can't see it otherwise, and that just makes it all unfair. But if you see, so I go to share and I hit share now, and then you'll see a little alert comes up. Look, I have shared. So yeah, you can do that. And that is very valuable and fun. Oh, Smiles has joined us as well. You can share it to a group if you would like to. You can go to share. It'll say share ... and you go down to share in a group, and you can put it in a group. and post it there if you want to get a point. You can post it on somebody else's profile, or if you'd like, you can also @ them. Right, you can @ down in the chat there, over there, I guess, over there. Over there is the chat usually. You may do a little @ and be like, come join us for a trivia, and you get a point for that as well. On Twitch, if you're hosting the show, at the end of the show, let us know, and we'll get you a point as well. Ian has joined us as well. So look, we're doing pretty good here. I think we're up above our double digits, which is fantastic. We did warn that we might call the show if we didn't have people, but it looks like people are coming. And Bubba Wallace will honor the Black Lives Matter movement with his paint scheme during Wednesday's NASCAR race in Martinsville. That's awesome. That is fantastic. For those that are just joining, NASCAR has officially announced that they are banning Confederate flags from all races and events, and white people are going crazy. It's fantastic. Seriously, when we're done here, go to the Facebook page for NASCAR and just read the comments. Oh, my Lord. It is an absolute sideshow of people misusing the terms First Amendment and discrimination. It is amazing. Oh, go do it when people have no idea what they're fighting for. They all need guns to fight tyranny, and then when tyranny happens, they're like, the police were fine. It's like, that was tyranny. You had a chance. You literally have been saying this was your time. Your time to step up. Police firing rubber bullets at people's faces. You had a chance. No. So they're not going to watch NASCAR anymore. They're all going to sit home and sharpen their guns because they don't know better. And just I wanted to point out that if anybody is offended by the things that I'm saying about this, you can fuck right off. Just like, go fuck right off, because I don't care. You don't have to be a fan of this either. I'm not worried about it. If you know me, you know that I'm pretty moderate about stuff. And this is long overdue, folks. This is a weird, long, strange tradition. We don't know why it was. The reason that we have statues of an army that tried to overthrow our government is just weird. And it was okay because I never really thought about it until somebody brought it up. And then I was like, yeah, wait, why? Why are we doing that? And they're like, and then they're waving a flag and they're like, this is great. This is my culture. And I'm like, you should probably assimilate, because you yell at people about learning English and you're not willing to just be a part of America. You got to have that other flag. Calm your ass down. You go take that thing, take your tractor and dig a hole, throw that flag in there. We don't need it. Caitlin has joined us. God knows why. Why are you here?
I just came to tell people that I agree with you and they can fuck right off.
Okay, fuck right off. If you do not like this program and you are offended, that is the words of advice from Caitlin. Just fuck right off. All right, there you go. That's the beginning of the show, everybody. Let's move on to question number 1. Question number 1. It's the first question of all the questions after it. Which psychologist penned the treatise titled Conditional Reflexes? Treatise? Is that right? Treatise? There you go. 60 seconds on the clock. You heard me. All right. So there you go. Septic, if you have no points, you cannot, unfortunately, bet on a Wager Wednesday. It is not possible. You can only bet the positive points that you have. So there you have it. So yeah, anyhow, let's get the answers in. Those are the most important thing of this game. Steam says Pavlog. Craig says Stretch Armstrong, which I believe is correct. Dr. Karen of Minnesota. Dr. Karen of Minnesota. I don't believe that is correct, but I could be wrong since I think you're going with Karen there. Ian says Duran Duran, the great psychologist Duran Duran. If you knew that, Ian, you would know that the correct answer is that her name is Rio. So Melissa says Pavlov. We got a couple. Oh, Alan's correct. It's Dr. Duran Duran. That is right. Let's be Let's be right about these things. All right, so time is up. Let's go to the chat and see what people are seeing. We got 14 people in, but not a lot of answers that came in. A little surprised by that. So we're waiting for Facebook to catch up, and I will go through again. This is Wednesday, so I have to do all of the things. So if you could please just make sure that you're following along at home and keeping track of your score, that is going to make my life a lot easier, because I will probably get things wrong. Why don't you use it? Yeah, trying to use it, the reflex. I get it, but her name is Rio. I'm just saying. I get your jokes. I just added jokes to your jokes. All right. So just in at the last second was Diana. Good old Smiles with an answer. Just a buzzer beater. The correct answer is Pavlov. That is right. Yes. Pavlov's dogs was conditioned reflexes. So if you ring a bell and end up salivating, that you have a Pavlovian response. So Steam was the first one with the correct answer there. 2 points to him. I've got Melissa, Karen, and Diana all with points. Septic got a negative point, as he was hoping to get. I will give style points to Ian and Alan for both Duran Duran and Dr. Duran Duran. I forget to go. That's right. Oh, I knew I was missing something. Let's do that. The color of the studio is supposed to be red. Luckily, Trey's not here to catch me on it. He was the one that said we had to do it. So I can do red. I'm colorblind, but that's not the point. I can do it. Is that red? I don't even know. Is that close? Is it possibly red? It feels kind of reddish. So I think it's probably good. All right. So there we go. Wasn't Duran a boxer? No, it's a type of fruit, Septic, actually. It's a Duran fruit. Duran fruit. It's very, very smelly. Let's move on to question number 2. Question number 2. In the Otis Redding song, Dock on the Bay, how many miles did he roam? So let's get 60 seconds on the clock for that. I know what Craig will be saying, and that is 10,000, right? To fall down at your door. That's my guess. Alan has a pre-guess of Barbarella. That is for question number 3, I assume. That would be the guess that you're going. I would walk 500. It's 1,000 miles, right? Oh, it's 1,000 miles. I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more. It's also apparently a Tune Tuesday today. I will be just singing in between all of the answers. All right, so there we go. How many miles did Otis Redding roam? All right, so a hole that is 5'8" of Karen. He roamed a hole, I see. A lot of 50s. We've got a lot of 50s in. We're now ranging from 50 to 2,000. We've got a 10,000 and a 2, just a 2 miles. Time's up. We're going to go to the chat, and we'll wait for Facebook to catch up and see if anyone was able to get the correct answer. If no one gets the correct answer, then Septic is going to be very sad, and he will get a point for throwing at Karen. Let's see. We have a 42. We've got a 50. Just to make this place my home. That's what it is. For some reason I had the 10,000 in my brain, and that's a different one. Different line. All right. So time. Here we go. So we've got 50, lots of 50s. We've got a 42 because Diana's being very clever. We've got a 2, which seems low perhaps. 10,000 and 2,000. He could walk 500 miles and he could walk 500 more. Yes, he could, Ian. That is correct. All right, so let's see. Did anyone get it right? Did anyone save Septic from earning a point? That's what we need to find out, because Septic does not want any points. He is shooting for all negative points. And so the correct answer is 2,000 miles. Danny got it with 2 points. So Septic is safe and gets a negative 2 points total for the show so far. I hope people aren't following me. I just guessed. Well, I think they did, Steve. I think we've been doing this long enough to know that the first person who answers obviously knows the answer, and then everyone goes, "Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, let's do that." How could that be wrong? All right, so let's move on to question number 3. Question number 3 is, what is the birthstone for the month of May? 60 seconds on the clock. Everyone who's born in May should know this. What is your birthstone if you are born in May? Anyone here born in May? I feel like you should almost get like half a point because you should know that. But yeah, so that's what we're looking for. Karen is 5'10". Yes, that's exactly why Karen doesn't find me attractive, is because I am not tall enough. But here's the thing. I have a wicked beard, so I feel like it makes up for it. But, you know, I'm not one for taste. They got to figure it out themselves. But I think way more importance when it comes to beards. That's just my take. All right, we've got some answers coming in. This is good. We shall give wrong answers so Septic gets points. I like that people are now plotting against Septic. That's pretty funny. Everybody just waits to the end for Septic, and then he's like, I don't know if I throw a Karen or not. All right, time's up. Let's go to the chat, and we'll see Facebook catching up. I'm going to take a look at all of these answers and see if anyone was able to get one right. Because it's all that Septic needs. He just desperately wants one person, anyone, to be able to get it correct, and then he is a happy person. But if nobody does, then he becomes a sad panda. So that's very sad if that happens. All right, so time is up. I'm going down the list here, and it looks like the correct answer, according to my answer sheet here, is the emerald. The emerald. First one in was Karen at 5'10", and then got 2 points there. Danny also gets a point. I got to get a point for Melissa. And let's see who else also got that. Ian says mayonnaise. I'll give a style point to mayonnaise. That seems good. Alan had pre-guessed that this was Barbarella, just so you know. Craig says the priceless quantum gemerald. All right, a style point for you. Opal said Diana. Unfortunately, style's not correct. But it looks like it's just Karen, Danny, and Melissa that got points, and then a negative point for Septic as he wanted. All right, so that is good. We're doing pretty good here, folks. Everybody's chiming in. We've got some people with points on the board already. Wednesday's a little harder, so it's going to be a little more difficult to follow along, but that's okay. You remember, if you don't know the answer, you can still just throw an answer out and go for a style point. You don't have to be correct. We're not going to make fun of you for not knowing. I don't know most of these, so it's not a big deal is what I'm saying. So let's go to question number 4. All right, so there we go. In the game of horseshoes, how many points do you get for a ringer? How many points do you get for a ringer? 60 seconds on the clock. You know, they say that close doesn't count in anything but hand grenades and horseshoes and hand grenades. In this case, close doesn't count for ringers. You have to actually get it on there for a ringer. But how many points is it when you get that? Right? How many points would you get if you had a ringer? You would think it would be more than one, right? Because we've already talked about it, that there has to be at least 1 point for being close, right? So there's that. So you would think that has to be more than one, and maybe there's other options between like a ringer and I know there's like I think there's a leaner type of thing. There's stuff like that. I think there's like if it's touching versus if it's like not touching. There could be a lot of different things there. So you have to think it through. Even if you don't know the sport itself, you might be able to like gather what it could be if you're like kind of thinking through how it would be played. But time is up. So let's go to the chat. I had to get it in before I had to go. Well, Steam, we appreciate you hanging out. 5 Jodie Foster points. That's what he says. Alan almost agrees with you, except without the Jodie Foster points. Ian says you get 1 style point, which we'll give him 1 style point for. Well, a ring is round, so an infinite amount, so it can't be set defined as a set defined amount. So Karen, says Septic. It is not an infinite amount of points that you get. You do not, if you get a ringer, you do not win all of Horseshoe for all time from that point forward. All right, let's go over to Facebook because we're now caught up there. Diana got in at the last second with a 20. Danny, I'm digging deep to the bottom. Danny says, cool. Why? Danny does not understand what Septic's up to. Sometimes you just have to some people just want to watch the world burn. That's what's going on. All right, we have 15, 3, 5, 3, 3, and 20. The correct answer is 3. That is correct. If you are able to ring it around the post, you get 3 points. I believe you just get 1 point for being like near it. Is that right? If you're touching it or something like that. You might get more if it leans on it. I feel like if it's leaning on it, you might get 2 points. I think you get 1 point if it's touching in any way. And you get, or something like that. Maybe somebody who knows the rules should probably tell. Go ahead. Let's hear about the rules of Horseshoe in the chat. I know that somebody here knows what we're talking about. All right. Have a good one, Steam. Let's move on to question number 5 while we all await all of the rules to horseshoes, if anybody knows those. Question number 5. Before it was a sneaker, Nike was the goddess of what? It is, the sneaker company named itself after a goddess because, that's not egotistical. All right, Craig, we'll see you as well. Caitlin, have fun at your other meeting, your other trivia. Is that what you're doing? You're doing the other trivia. All right. I forgot to hit the 60 seconds. That's happening. All right. Karen says victory. Ian says socks. It is, before it was sneakers, it was a sock god. And then it moved into a sneaker god. No, it was not socks. I'll give you a style point for socks, though. Well, we've started a new religion of Karenism. All right. So Septic has thrown his Karen into the ring as expected. All right. So I think I'm going to save myself a bunch of time and effort by just giving him negative 10 points. And then if he misses a Karen, I'll give him points. That's the way I think I'll have to do it. That makes so much more sense. Because otherwise I have to do this every round, and that's too much work. Way too much work is what I'm saying. All right, 5 seconds left. Get your answers in because we are going to go to the chat. And on to the chat we go. Lots of people saying victory. It seems like that's the most popular of all the answers. We're going to wait for Facebook to catch up and see what other people see here. It's just socks and victory. I feel like that's gonna be, I'm sorry, I can stop if this makes a difference. No, I've solved it, Septic. I just went out ahead of you and I've given you 10 negative points. And then if you accidentally get a point, I'm just gonna remove 2 points. I'll remove 2 negative points. It'll work out perfectly. All right, so the correct answer is victory. That is right. Oh yeah, victory is the correct answer. So let's see, we need, did I get everybody's points or not? No, I don't remember. Danny, how many points do you think you have? You're usually pretty good at following your points. Do you know how many points you have? If not, Melissa, how many do you think you have? Nope, you don't know how many you have. Okay. Melissa, do you know how many you have? I feel like I did all of the points or none of the points. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. So, all right, that's what we'll figure that out. But yes, that is where it first came from. Nike is the goddess of victory. And so they thought, well, if we're going to make shoes, we should make Victoria's shoes. So it's kind of the Victoria's Secret in a sense. Is that, yeah? 4. You have 4. Okay. So I don't think I did them at all. All right. So I think, so in this case, first one is Karen. Karen. So you have 2 points to Karen, which puts you at 7. That's what I've got for you. And then Danny. Oh, we've got, just so you know, we've got thunder happening all around us right now. Lots of thunder. This is very exciting. All right, so maybe you'll hear it. I wonder if you'll hear it through the microphone. Probably not, but there's a chance, I suppose. All right, so I think I've got everybody's points now. Oh, Lord. All right. Oh, I'm here. Victory, says Trey. Oh, my goodness. With 4 with this question. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I've got now. Okay. So I think I've got it now. We're going to go all over. We're at 5, so I'm going to go over the points. Again, please follow along at home with your points because I'm all alone here, so there's a likelihood I will get things wrong. All right, Septic has negative 10 points pending the end of this game. That is not necessarily correct, but it pending at the end. I've just put negative 10 total. He's right now at negative 5, but eventually he's shooting for negative 10. I've got Shaggy with 1, Diana with 2, Steam with 2, Melissa with 4, Danny with 5, and Karen with 7. Does that seem good? Trey says, and I was riding in Richmond. Ooh. Thunder here coincided with the rain and Zwift. Oh, that's pretty neat. Very cool. All right. So for those that don't know, Zwift is like an indoor biking app, right? That you link to you put your bike on a little wheel thing, right? And it tells you how fast you're going. And then the app takes that information in, and then you can like go places in the app, and it tracks various things about you. And you can actually do social. You can go and be social and do it and things like that. So Trey does a bunch of that. It's the Thundering Herd, right? Is that the name of your group? There's like 100 people in it. And they're all over the world. And so he rides with them pretty much daily, it seems like. All right. It's the name of a Nike shoe. The Victory. All right. Okay, so there we go. You could lie to me about my points, and I'd agree because I don't keep track. All right, that's fair, Danny. That may be how things move forward. Let's get back to the questions. I don't see anybody else saying that their stats were wrong. But do follow along at home, and we'll move on to question number 6. So question number 6. What did Dr. John Pemberton invent in 1886? Dr. John Pemberton? Mr. Dr. Pemberton. Mr. John Pemberton. That sounds like it would be a Monkees song. All right, so let's get those. I've already started the time. We've got about 35 seconds left, so you get answers. Oh, wow, the herd, a couple thousand now. Nearly 400 in tonight's ride. Woo! That's pretty crazy. All right. Let's see what people are guessing. People believe that a doctor invented soda. That's what we're going with. That is very interesting. Perfume de la Caron. All right. I'm guessing that is not correct. But maybe it is. We never know. It's hard to say. All right. So time is up, but, obviously we're going to go to chat and wait for Facebook to catch up as well. Melissa says a stethoscope. That seems like a very doctor thing. A stethoscope. That would be good. Traces the original formula of Coca-Cola. So not to be confused with New Coke, apparently. Apparently he doesn't believe that New Coke was invented in the 1800s. I appreciate that, Trey, being able to define that. Casey's joined us. Hello, Casey. The Pemmy. That's what he invented. I don't know what that is, but I'll give you a style point, Ian, for making up an invention. And Trey says meaning cocaine. That is a fact. It did have cocaine in with it. Not much, I don't think. It was because they really just used the leaves, right, for the flavor, but then like the chemicals that are cocaine came out of that into the soda as well. Interesting fact, did you know that Coca-Cola is the only entity in the United States that is legally allowed to import coca leaves? Yeah. They are allowed, and it's really fascinating, right? Because what they do is they bring in the coca leaves, and the DEA, I guess it is, or whatever, Drug Enforcement, DEA. The DEA weighs all of the leaves, right? All of everything that came in, and then they do their processing for it, right? And they essentially have to remove the cocaine from the leaves, and then they weigh everything again to make sure that like all of the cocaine is out, and then they confiscate that and they destroy it. I assume that means they go back and snort it. I don't know what destroying means in technical terms. And then the non-cocaine coca leaves can then be used for flavoring. But yeah, it's still interesting. So they are legally allowed to, like on a technical level at least, import drugs. They're legally allowed. They've been grandfathered in. So fascinating thing about that. Let's go to the answer. So the correct answer is Coca-Cola. That is right. So we've got 2 points to Karen, 1 to Danny, and 1 to Trey. Let's see. Nope. All right. Let's move on to question number 7. Question number 7. What is the chemical symbol of boron? What is the chemical symbol of boron? And I know what you're thinking. It is the Confederate flag, and that's a different word. That's a totally different word. But it is. We're talking about like on the periodic table. What the element of boron? What's the symbol for it? Just a B. Karen goes with just a B. Then the aeon. All right, you know what? I have no idea what aeon means, Ian, but I'm gonna give you a style point just because you're funny. I like you. Septic goes with a Karen, but with an R1 in it. We have a lot of people getting on the B bandwagon. The B just for boron. Maybe. I mean, it is in the word, right? It's in the name of it, so that's always possible. There's 20 seconds left. So who's to say? It could. But that seems so easy. It's Wednesday. I don't know. All right. Well, you know what? We will find out in about 5 seconds. Well, a little longer than that probably, because we need to wait for everybody to get caught up. But we'll go to the chat and see when Facebook decides to catch up with the rest of us. And in the meantime, let's see if anybody gets points. Anyone getting points today? Probably somebody. Probably someone will, because if everybody's wrong, then at least it will be Septic, right? So we're almost guaranteed points at this point on each round. It's a yawn because it's boring. Boron. All right, Diana came in at the last seconds and pulls in BR. See, look, there you go. Now I've seen a lot of elements that have multiple letters in them. So boron, that could also be correct. But unfortunately, the correct answer is B. It is B. So a negative point to Septic. 2 points goes to Karen for guessing B at the beginning. Trey gets a point. Danny, Melissa, and Jenny all get points as well. Diana, an excellent guess. If you didn't know, sometimes it's worth kind of going away from the train of people. We've seen them all go down the wrong road a few times. So if you can maybe pick up a point to catch up to them, sometimes that's worth it. So let's go on to question number 8. Question number 8 is, scientist Alexander Fleming is known for discovering what lifesaver? That is not, we're not asking for the flavor of the candy that he invented. There is a particular life-saving thing in which he invented. We're looking for what scientist Alexander Fleming is known for discovering. Yeah, you can hear thunder real good. I don't know if you guys are getting it. Hoping it's like a real loud one, and then that would be crazy. Can people hear this? Did you hear that? It just happened. I don't know. You're on a roll. We're on a rolling thunder right now. That's what's really happening. 30 seconds left to get your answers in. Trey, how do you like the red? I made the studio red for you today. I hope it is acceptable. We absolutely started the entire show with it as red. I did not accidentally forget about it or anything like that. So I just want you to know that it meant a lot to go with it. Trey says he stepped. I know you were. I know all of you. You're not fooling me. I'm on to you. All right, to the chat. Time is up. Let's see what people are saying here. Most do, since there are more than 26 elements. Yeah, that is a fair assessment. Let's see. Trey is at the top with penicillin. Septic says Karen, as you would expect. I couldn't think of anything. Danny says penicillin, although I'm allergic to it. That's really unfortunate. Karen, penicillin as well. Melissa says penicillin. Jenny says penicillin, and Diana also says penicillin. And the correct answer is penicillin. So I didn't go and get everybody's points this time, so you're going to have to suffer through that. So we got 2 points to Trey for being the first one in. Negative point to Septic. Danny gets a point. And let's see. Karen gets a point. Who else? Melissa gets a point. Definitely need that. And Jenny gets a point. And then Diana gets a point as well. All right, this is good, everybody. Gaining all those points, because if we get them now, you can always bet later on those, because we've got a Wager Wednesday happening. Remember that, right? So super important about that. Let's go on to question number 9. I think we're already to 9. Question number 9. At whose ranch did Elizabeth Taylor wed Larry Fortensky? Fortensky. That's right. I nailed it. 60 seconds on the clock. While we're taking this break and you are answering questions, I'd also like to point out, don't forget that I do have a podcast called Another Wasted Hour. It is available at all your podcast outlets. You can go to iHeartRadio. You can go to Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music. Search for Another Wasted Hour. It's free. There's 140 episodes. There's some trivia. There's some lots of comedy, some really funny news from around the internet, and you'll be exposed to local musicians and artists from the Washington, D.C. area. So go check it out. Free. Leave us, subscribe and leave us a review and some stars. I know not a ton of people are listening because you're all locked inside and haven't been driving much, but it's a good thing to listen to while driving. So download some onto your phone and connect it into your stereo using a auxiliary cable or Bluetooth or whatever it is that you do. Time's up. We're going to the chat. Let's see what people said. Let's see. Trey says he should have gone with Karen Sillen, and he didn't. Yeah, I know. He put it right after I put that. All right, so we've got some interesting ones. We've got Michael Jackson, John Wayne, Karen Axon, and the Mustang Ranch. Style point for the Mustang Ranch. That's probably not the correct answer, because the correct answer is Michael Jackson. It is Neverland Ranch where that happened. There you go. There you go. Look at that. Somebody actually caught me on. I was waiting to see if anybody would get this. I totally skipped over the penultimate question and nobody called me on it. And then Diana says it should have had its own graphic. But I always yell at Caitlin because it's our little bit that we do, and nobody yelled at me. I'm a little disappointed in all of you. I was just seeing if anyone was paying attention. Nobody paying attention. You folks. But yes, Michael Jackson. So let's go down the list. We've got to get Karen 2 points again for being first. Killing it on the first answers, Karen. She is over there on Twitch again. Remember, if you jump on Twitch, you get a little bit of an advantage because it's a little bit quicker. Plus, we're actually pretty close to being able to make money on Twitch, just so you know. We don't have enough subscribers yet. I think we have like 14 subscribers and we need like 50 subscribers. So we're still a ways off on that. But the other things that we needed, like some streaming stats and everything, we've got all of those. So that's kind of cool. So if you'd like to go and make a Twitch account and just follow us over on Twitch, that would also be appreciated. They're absolutely free. So tell other people to do it as well. So yes, Karen got a point. She started with Mikhail Jackson, change it to Michael Jackson, obviously. So that's fine. Danny gets a point. Let's see, Danny right there in alphabetical order. I'm a little slow sometimes. Danny gets a point. Trey, unfortunately, not John Wayne. Melissa does get a point. There's a point for Melissa, and Diana also with a point. She's over there smiling with her points. Negative points for Septic, still killing it there. And Ian, the Mustang Ranch, very entertaining, but not correct. Trey was going to put a penguin, but I got to the question too quick. All right, so you're hitting a lot of my knowledge range tonight. It is an interesting scattering of questions that you happen to know about. All right, so let's go on to the last question, which is the ultimate question. All right, question number 10. Who played Scarlett O'Hara in the movie Gone with the Wind? We talked about another actress that got an Academy Award for Gone with the Wind and wasn't able to actually attend the premiere because of segregation at the time. But who played Scarlett O'Hara in this classic? Danny's holding back to see if other people will get answers. Sneaky, I see. All right, so we've got 60 seconds on the clock. Well, 50 seconds on the clock. Septic says Karen Foster, which I would be assumed that is a combination of Karen and Jodie Foster. All right, so let's see. People getting answers in. Oh, we're seeing a lot of Vivian Lees for this. All right, so we'll find out how people end up doing at time. We still have 20 seconds left. So if anybody has any other answers, you can also go with those. Or follow the pack. You can also follow the pack. That is not a terrible thing to do. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're wrong. It is a throw of the dice, you might say. All right, time is up. Time is up. Let's go to the chat and we'll watch for Facebook to catch up. Melissa says she's buried in London, by the way. Buried in London. Interesting. HBO Max removed Gone with the Wind from their selection just like today and will be putting it back up with a disclaimer and explanation around the history of the movie. That's interesting. Another factoid that ties things together from last week, MLK Martin Luther King Jr.'s choir sang at the Gone with the Wind premiere. That's very interesting. When he was like 10 years old. All right. If we do an 11th question on Wager Wednesday, then isn't the 10th question actually the penultimate question? Not really, because that's like a bonus question. It's like we play the whole game, which is the 10 questions, and then there's a whole separate thing. It's like a different game, in my opinion, because you can only earn points to wager on Wager Wednesday for the first 10 questions. So that's kind of the way I see it. All right, so the correct answer is Vivian Lee, and that is the end of the show. But before you go anywhere, we're going to have to do a few things. First, we have to find out who shared the show. Let's go up onto Facebook and take a look. It looks like Karen has a share that we're going to give her a point for. I shared the show. That was really nice of me. Craig shared the show. A point for Craig. And Shaggy also shared the show. I didn't hear him answer any answers. He just shared the show. All right, so there we have it. So those are all of the points, and usually the way we do this is we separate our Wager Wednesday out from everybody else. And Jenny shared it, but after I looked. Nope. Sorry, Jenny. It's too late. I already tallied it up. Jenny. We have to draw the line somewhere. And that is it. I got through the entire list. All right, so let's take a look at our winner, because I think that we should do our winner based off of what the show went like, and then the Wager Wednesday is separate. So starting from the bottom, Septic nailed it with the negative 10 points for the show. More negative points than he's ever gotten before. Craig has 1. Jenny has 2. Shaggy has 2. Steam has 2. Diana has 6. Trey has 6. Melissa has 8. Danny has 8. Karen has 16 points. You did try, Jenny. I saw you try and sneak it in at the last second. And I you know what? I still appreciate the share. I do appreciate it. I just we can't go back and just do it all do all these shares over and over again. All right, so let's see. So those are the points. Does anyone have any concerns with the points that I said for them? Anyone think that their points are off? Hopefully you followed along at home. And so, yeah. So I could mess with Septic later on this week if I know no one has gotten it right. Yeah, you could probably. All right. If you know nobody else gets it right, you can be like, I don't know either. This plotting is very funny. All right, so I'm not hearing any issues with people's points. So we're going to move on to the category for Wager Wednesday. The category tonight is actors and actresses. This has to do with actors and or actresses. All right. And you can put as many points on the line as you would like. Trey is going all in, but let me go through people's total points just so that people have a little idea of what they'd like to go and wager. I will put yours in, Trey. So you have 20 for the week and you want to go all in. So I'm going to do 20 for you. All right, 20 for you. Here we go. Septic, you have negative 26 points for the week, so you are not allowed to wager anything, unfortunately. Craig has 10 points to wager. Jenny has 7 points to wager. Shaggy has 8 points that he can wager. Steam has 14. Smiles has 14. Trey had 20. Melissa has 27. Danny has 23. Karen has 29. All right, so those are all of them. Melissa is all in. So when you say all in, all 27 points, Melissa? I know in the past sometimes you've done just the amount that you've earned for the day. Karen is all in as well. Okay, so 29 points in for Karen. Melissa, I've got you in for 27 points. Let me know if that's wrong. Jenny is doing 1 point. All right, 1 point. Smiles has 5 points. 5 points for Smiles. Let's see. Danny's going with 23 points. Danny, where's Danny? Here. So all in. You're all in. All 23 points. Melissa's all 27. Jenny decides going all in. Oh, you're all in. All right. 8 points for Jenny. So the only people we have not heard from, and I think some have just left early. Craig, I know, left early. Haven't heard from Shaggy, and then Steam has left early as well. So those are the only bets that we have not heard from. So we're gonna shut down the bets and move on to the questions now. Changed my mind. All in 7. Wait. All in or 7? Are you at 7? Is that what it is? Oh yeah, all in 7. Okay. That's right. So all 7. Jenny says all in for 7. Let's do it. All right, there we go. So pretty much everybody's all in. This is very exciting. This is what it comes down to. All right, let's go to our answer, our question. Let's go to our question. And the question is, Grace Kelly made 2 films, Country Girl and High Society, with what leading man? All right. 60 seconds on the clock. Grace Kelly made 2 films, Country Girl and High Society, with what leading man? I will rest assured this is a famous person, so it is not some obscure name. When I say it, you'll be like, oh yeah, no, I know that guy. So yes, it is a famous person that Grace Kelly did 2 movies with, Country Girl and High Society, co-starring this leading man. So what is the name of that actor? All right, we're looking for people. 20 seconds left on the clock. You need to get your answers in. You're out. Down to 0. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, you could always put a guess in. All right, go into the chat. To the chat. Time is up, so we're going to see what people have come up with. Let's see how they are faring on their bets. Let's see. Facebook, waiting for Facebook to catch up. You know High Society, but not Country Girl. Okay, well, then it's probably going to be the same person. All right. Oh, Melissa snuck in just at the last second. Literally the last second. All right. So the answer is, we've got a few different ones. We've got Bing Crosby and Cary Grant are the 2 contenders. And unfortunately, the answer is Bing Crosby. It is Bing Crosby. So Trey and Melissa and Danny and Karen all are able to double up their scores. Diana, unfortunately, you've lost 5 points. Jenny, down. You're starting fresh. This is a fresh start for you. That's what it is. Thursday, our theme Thursday tomorrow will be a fresh start for Jenny. And, there's other people who are still at 0 as well. Look, Septic's at negative 26 points. You're doing better than him by 26 points. Just saying. All right. So there you go. It could have been William Holden, but I don't think if I said William Holden, people would have said, oh yeah, William Holden. But I think everybody agrees if I say Bing Crosby, you're like, oh yeah, I know Bing Crosby. All right. So, all right, everybody. So that is the show. We've got an acceptance speech that we're waiting on from Karen, who won the night. Also was able to double up her points for the week, which is impressive. We've got some really impressive scores right now. But all right, so acceptance speech from Karen. Karen, let me know what color you want the studio tomorrow. While I'm waiting on that, everyone, don't forget we are here at 7 o'clock every night. As long as we've got double-digit people to talk to, we will do this. And I also have a podcast called Another Wasted Hour, which is available on all podcast outlets. Wherever you get a podcast, search for Another Wasted Hour. Go subscribe to that. Give it some stars and some reviews. We'd appreciate it. Hopefully you really enjoy it. Let us know. Honestly, come tell me. If you think it's terrible, let me know how we can make it better. If you think it's great, let me know that. We appreciate the feedback in a genuine way. I'm not going to be mad at you. As for this show, you're probably going to want to subscribe and follow this show because then you'll know when it goes on. Yes, it's 7 o'clock usually. Sometimes we're a little early. Sometimes we're a little late. So you'll want to do that. Also, if anything goes wrong, like yesterday, we were able to only stream to Facebook rather than Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And so we had to go put some information up on our Facebook page and our Twitter account. So go check out Another Wasted Hour on Facebook and A Wasted Hour on Twitter and Another Wasted Hour on Instagram. We'll post up there when there's problems or things like that and let you know what's going on. All right, so you'll want to like and follow those. And then there's also a group called Another Wasted Group on Facebook where you get some insider information about the show. We'd love to have you be a part of that. It's a lot of fun. And there's been rumors that when we stop doing trivia here, some people might be picking up the mantle and doing trivia for that group. So if you want to know about that, you'll need to be a part of that group. Otherwise, you won't find out about it. We want the darkest green you can make it. Well, the darkest green would be no color. That would just be darkness. But I can make it maybe like a lush green. Let's call it that. Like not a pale green, but a vibrant green. We can make that happen. All right, so our acceptance speeches. Thank you, Septic, for showing me all the varieties of Karen I can be. I hope everyone will catch up tomorrow while I'm away. Oh no, we're gonna miss Karen tomorrow, everybody. You have a chance to catch up though, so make sure you're here at 7 o'clock tomorrow. We will have a green studio. So that'll be fun. Everybody say goodnight to one another and everybody be friends and, do the friendly things. So until 7 o'clock tomorrow, everybody stay safe and healthy. Do all the things you need to keep yourself healthy. When you go out, don't do silly things and hurt yourself and hurt other people. Make sure you're wearing masks, not touching people and putting it on your face and all that because we want you to see you here again next time. And also, again, a shout out to all the people who have helped us through this pandemic so far, who have gone to work, even though it's been dangerous, when we haven't been going to work, you've been essential, and we recognize the sacrifice that you and your families have made. We appreciate that. So thank you for that. And I think that's about it. So, good night, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow. All right.